Hola, me llamo Jenny.
Me llamo Abby. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Loida, medicinalista.
¿Cuántos años tenías cuando viste a Estados Unidos?
Yeah. Yo tenía 21 años. No, 23 años. I was 23.
Okay.
¿Qué comiste cuando eras una niña?
Comía arroz, white rice, arroz, frijoles negros, pork, roast beef, and fried banana. Let me tell you now in English. Arroz, white rice, black beans. We have many different, but that's the more basic in Cuba. Black beans and fried banana. Did I say fried banana?
You did.
Plátano frito.
It's okay.
We have to go back again?
No, it's okay.
No? Okay.
¿Cuál es tu comida favorita?
Would you believe it now? Steak and baked potato, bistec y papa asada con ensalada. Steak and baked potato with salad.
Gracias. This is The History of Cuba by Jenny and Abbie. Cuba is an island in the Western Caribbean. Its population is just over 11 million people. Some interesting facts about Cuba you may not know. Cubans refer to their country as El Cocodrillo, which is Spanish for crocodile, because they have passed along the urban legend that their country looks like a crocodile and that it resembles a crocodile. And there's some story about crocodiles back in the day, so they refer to their country as a crocodile. It's the most populated country in the Caribbean. It's 90 miles from America, and the weather there stays pretty consistent. Unlike America and Georgia, where our winters and summers are very distinct from each other, their winters and summers only differ about 6 degrees. It stays in the mid-70s to low 80s. It's pretty nice weather year-round. Baseball and dominoes are two activities that you would participate in if you were in Cuba. They're very big activities down in Cuba. Some of the background of this food in Cuba: it's a mixture of Spanish, African, and European cuisines, and Spain was the biggest influence on this. The slaves came over from Africa and Spain mostly, a few from other Caribbean islands, and they brought their cooking techniques with them, which highly influenced the food in Cuba. Resources. Since Cuba is an island, they have easy access to seafood, therefore they eat a lot of fish and shrimp and anything else you can bring in from the sea. Plantains grow everywhere. They're like bananas. They grow in trees, and so it's very easy for people to get access to plantains. So you would eat a lot of plantains if you lived in Cuba. Fruits as well. Since it's so tropical, it's easy for fruits to grow. And then they eat something called congri, which is red beans and rice. Moros y cristianos is black beans and rice, and arroz con frijoles is rice and beans. This is a picture of a typical meal in Cuba. You see that you have the chicken and the rice down in the bottom. You've got your vegetables. You've got things that grow locally in Cuba, like the avocados and the tomatoes. Very easy to cultivate down there. Some other foods, they use an array of spices such as cumin, garlic, oregano, and bay leaves. Up here you see a picture of bay leaves. These spices are very unique to the Cuban food. They are found in many of the entrees, and if you're cooking in Cuba, you will have these by your side. They use them on their seafood, and they also eat a thing called sofrito. It's sautéed green onions that has spices mixed into it, and they use it for a base for almost all of their dishes. Mostly anything you eat in Cuba will have sofrito in it. This is the recipe for the polvorones con canela, which are the cinnamon sugar cookies that we made for you guys. You need 2 sticks of unsalted butter, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. What you want to do is heat your oven And you beat the butter, powdered sugar, vanilla, flour, and salt all in a bowl until you have created a dough. Then you cover it and you let it cool completely in the fridge. And then once it's completely chilled, you're going to bake it in the oven for about 15 minutes or until the edges are a little golden. From there, you're going to put the sugar and the cinnamon mixture into a bowl, and you're going to roll your cookies in them while they're still warm so the cinnamon melts into them. This is when they're really good. And then you set them aside until your cookies are cool enough to eat, and you enjoy. The Cuban sandwich is really simple. It's similar to a grilled cheese. You take 3 slices of ham, 3 slices of roast beef or pork. We use roast beef for you guys. And 3 slices of Swiss cheese. Pickles and mustard are optional, so that's up to your personal preference, and Cuban bread. Typically, you would put these in a Cuban press, but since we didn't have one, we just heated them up for you guys. They're a very popular lunch item, and they started in Florida between Key West and Tampa, believe it or not. They're very similar to a panini that we would eat today, and the plancha is a grill that you would use to make one, so it's very similar to a panini maker. And these things are typically cut diagonally. These are our sources. Hope you guys enjoy the food.
Okay, today me and Jenny are gonna make cinnamon sugar cookies, and here's what you need. You need 2 sticks of butter, which these are half sticks, so we got 4, but you need 2 sticks of butter. It needs to be unsalted. And then you need 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, okay? And then 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Make sure you got that. And then we need 2 cups of flour. We need 2 of these big bad boys. And then we're gonna need 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Make sure it's sea salt, not just regular salt. And then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then the last thing is you can have some nuts if you want, but we're not gonna put that in there.
Preheat oven to 325 degrees. Beat the butter and the powdered sugar. Flour and salt in a bowl. Cover the bowl with plastic wrap and chill thoroughly. Roll the cookies into 1-inch balls and place them 1 inch apart on the cookie sheet. Pour the remaining cup of powdered sugar into a bowl and add the cinnamon and mix the two together. You're going to roll your cookies in these once they come out of the oven. Now they're done. Once the cookies come out of the oven and they're still warm, put them in the mixture of cinnamon and powdered sugar and cover them completely, shake them so the excess comes off, and they should look like this. Once you're done, enjoy.
Make sure that they're hot when you put them into the sugar. That way the cinnamon sugar will melt when it's on the cookie.
Alright, today we're making Cuban sandwiches. In order to make these sandwiches, you need a pan on the stove or a panini maker, but if you don't have one, the stove works, and you spray it with some pan. From there, place your bread onto the pan. And add a few slices of Swiss cheese. From there, let the cheese melt and then add a few slices of ham and roast beef. Let it cook until the cheese is completely melted. This is what the final product should look like. Mmm.